This ain't just any mountain. It's sacred.
This ain't no mountain high enough.
So we got a thing over here.
No
Alexander takes the feather.
enough.
Alexander, blankety blank, is every line in this game.
Alexander
I'm just going to click past them all. They all just say Alexander does this thing. Okay, so we got
Some Alexanders do this. Some Alexanders do
we got
that.
a feather,
Alexander is carrying an unusually large black feather.
and we've got a flower. Oops.
Colors of flame burst from the center of the incredibly stinky flower.
Wait, is that
and
a
drip
dragon
onto its
thing?
Petals.
What?
The flower's appearance
That-
is as flamboyant
Is that a
as its
bird or a
smell.
dragon?
This thing?
No, go 2 over.
That's the nightingale, the wind-up nightingale.
Oh, okay. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, clearly. Okay, so we got a stinky flower and we got a black feather. The mountain here, by the way, is the hardest puzzle in the game, but not really. It's actually just like copyright protection. We have to look up the answer to this in the
There appears to be
Oh, is this the one they make fun of in Homestar? Ignorance kills, wisdom elevates.
I actually remember most of it.
huge blocks of stone
Rise.
erupt from the granite cliffs.
Guys. So
My
so
bread loaf.
the manual for King's Quest 6 was like this big long guidebook to the land of the Green Isles, written by a guy named Derek. And his last name was like Carl.
Alexander stares with wonder. That's quite a way to welcome a guest, if indeed it is a welcome.
One other nice thing about King's Quest 6 is they fleshed out the lore a little bit more than in previous King's Quest, where it was just literally just fairy tales thrown together because why not? So the Line of the Green Isles has actually a pretty cool history to it. I don't know it all. I don't have it memorized. And we're also not climbing up this mountain yet because if you do, then stupid things happen. So we'll come back here.
Alexander pulls out.
I just needed to get that flower and feather. Now to the Isle of the Chicken Leg.
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
But it just fizzles and dies.
Stop! That's your only joke for this. In fact, you've been rather quiet so far, other than mumbling.
I've been interested in what I'm doing.
You must be drawing quite a doozy back there.
It's a doozy, all right.
Okay. Let me just make sure I've got everything I need. I do. Okay.
Ay.
Because here we are. The Isle of Wonder is basically the island of puns. Alright? Everything on this island is supposed to be all wondrous and like Alice in Wonderland type thing, but it's mostly just puns.
Oyster beds line the
See?
seashore.
Oyster beds.
Most of the oysters are
Get it?
sound asleep.
Because there are oysters in actual literal beds. But this one looks like a Muppet.
Why aren't you asleep like the other oysters?
And it's also Minnie Mouse.
Oh, I'm so weary, but I can't sleep.
Or,
No, it's Daisy Duck.
Terrible ache
Webigail.
in my mouth.
it's
Oh,
Webigail.
that's right. That's right.
Who is the same voice actress. I just forgot her name now. But she does Minnie Mouse, she does Webby. She also does some other Sierra voices later in Quest for Glory. Anyway, so here's the thing. The oyster won't sleep, so let's read it the most boring bedtime story ever.
The oysters, the walrus, and the carpenter.
Pretty much.
If you're having trouble sleeping, perhaps you'd like me to read to you.
Here's this love
Hey,
poem.
that would be great.
Are you ready?
2 dulcimers raised to the degree of 40 half dulcimers, divided into equal parts by the third of a cackle of grouse geese, put over the result of 10 fine mackles, albeit small fine mackles, stretched over the total of 53 and an eighth bottles of
So,
wild beast lard.
Let me tell you a story. While this story is happening. Oh, I missed it.
Yields a gilded minnow of precise measurements,
I
2,069
tech,
centidrills by
things for a living
3,023
at a hotel,
6/7
do their
puns,
AV work.
not punts, as
And
might
I
be
have
expected.
sat through
This is
8-hour-long
not to
tax
say, however,
seminars
in any sense whatsoever,
that have basically
that
been 8 hours
deviations
of
in mean
this.
temperature of 5 or 6 dregs or so.
Unfortunately,
Alexander makes a grab
You're
for the
not
pearl.
allowed to fall asleep.
I'm not allowed to fall asleep, and I don't get any pearls.
Hey, you fixed my mouth. It feels great. I.
And And then you killed an oyster.
Ah, the little oyster drifts into peaceful slumber with the rest of his oyster friends.
His.
His? I was about to... I'm being attacked by Z's! Ow! Right in the face. Alright. Here's your limerick for Alexander from chat
Here it comes.
about the poem. There once was a poetic phrase whose lines were just filled with cliches. 'Twas filled with linked chains and haunted heart pains. A poem of some 50 shades. Oh, I made the joke too.
Boo!
No, it was a better limerick than the poem.
No, I did like it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Here's the thing
Mr.
in the
Watts.
water.
Alexander picks up the object floating in the water. It appears to be a string of letters. They say, "Where are you going?"
They look like Z's.
Alexander decides to keep the odd sentence, even though it is incomplete.
So yeah, we just...
Alexander is carrying, oddly enough, a sentence. It says, "Where are you going?"
Well, where are you going?
Oh, right.
Yes, we did make a 50 Shades joke the first time, but that's okay.
Wait, is this the Isle of Magic that
It's
we're
the
on?
Isle of Wonder, dork.
The Isle of Wonder Dork.
Okay, so here's something you want to pay attention to. Because as you try to go farther in this island, this suddenly happens.
Alexander hears someone coming.
Here come the dudes.
Tom Bombadil. Wait, what?
Can you tell what this is?
5 fierce guards on
Ah!
the isle we be. Watch for a foreign man, said he, with ears and nose, tongue, hands, and eyes. Its nature cannot be disguised. If mad it be, then mad it dies.
So basically, they're like the sense gnomes,
They're like Tweedledee and Tweedledum, but with 5 cents.
but there's 5 of them.
That which you do so well.
So we gotta fool the 5 senses. Because apparently these dwarves, gnomes, whatever they're called, only have 1 sense each. Because video games. So we give this guy Stinky Flower.
Alexander holds the flower.
Alexander.
Tom Troll I am,
we're
that's
trying
all
to-
I'll be.
And I'm also
My
Porky
nose
Pig,
knows
you
all on
see.
land and sea. A flower of stench has washed ashore. A flower 'tis all, and nothing more.
Nevermore.
Listen,
Ah!
you Rogalore, do your duty
Rogalore?
as you swore.
Oh, do they say the same thing every time?
No. It's a completely different rhyme every time. See, what do I have that makes noise?
Farts.
What?
Nothing.
Did you say a mint?
No.
Alexander
Did you say
winds
farts?
the tin nightingale. and
I don't
plays
know
it
what
for
I
the
said.
gnome with the monumental
You were
ears.
really out of it tonight.
Actually, I do know what I said. I just didn't want to repeat it.
Oh, I see. Oh. It sounds like a bird is winding up. Let's kick it and turn it into a pup. Look, I'm not good at rhyming tonight. Ooh, I like his dance, though.
There were little gnomes with 5 senses.
I'm
Who
a-
weren't held behind any fences.
A nose is not a way to spy.
What the
My
heck?
ears cannot be told a lie.
It's got a weird
a
earring.
nightingale is all there be. No man is near, and so say me.
A nightingale got wound up. That's a natural sound for nightingales to make.
Trump, that we might know whether friend or whether foe.
Yeah.
So if this was like what are they expecting to? They just stand there with their tongue out and they're like, I'm sure that whatever's invading us will just rub themselves on my tongue.
Leisure Suit Larry, the fantasy edition.
Here, have a mint. It's clearly just a roll of lifesavers has washed up on shore.
Consort.
Alexander holds the mint out for the gnome with the
It might be
gigantic
peppermint
mouth.
or wintergreen. That's what is here, and so says me.
Grumplump knows a
No.
tasty treat.
Oh my gosh.
It matters not what others breed. No danger is this one so sweet.
Thanks, Droopy Dog.
Here is him. Let's get him,
Dilly, use your hands. Is it beast or is it man?
Well, let's take off these gloves and then not feel anything. I'm clearly a bunny.
Alexander holds the rabbit foot out for the gnome with the
Wait,
huge
Alexander's doing
hands.
all these things?
Yeah, believe it or not. That's the sound a rabbit makes.
Be all you mad? What aileth thee? A bunny can't trill merrily. A hare does not at all taste sweet. A rabbit here is all we greet.
What does the rabbit say?
What does a fox say?
Vision can resolve this matter.
Alright.
Look you now.
Why don't they just send the vision gnome out first? I mean, you would think that would be the logical thing to do. And you're like, uh-oh, I'm screwed because of the vision guy.
Alexander's carrying a little ink bottle. It appears to be empty.
So it's...
So he takes it out, and then he chokes the guy.
That's a much better solution. Why doesn't he just kick him all in the nuts and run? I mean, he's like, I will smell this stinky flower. Ah! Ah! He just... Anyway.
Pokes the seeing guy in the eyes.
Uh-huh.
He
takes the...
just... Go ahead.
He takes the tongue of the tasting guy, just like wraps around his head and ties it off.
He just yanks out the earring of the ear guy.
The big hand guy, he just like grabs his hand and twirls him around and tosses him in the ocean.
And he just punches the nose guy in the nose.
Just breaks it in half. Anyway, this is invisible ink, so you just put it on yourself.
Alexander pours the contents of the empty-looking ink bottle over himself.
That would be the best solution to this ever. Just
By all
kicks them all in the
that's
crotch and runs
fair
away.
and sightly, 4 morons do I sleep with nightly.
We all
There's
have the
nothing
same
there at
voice
all, I
actor.
say.
All
Enough
5 of
this.
us.
Let's now away.
I wonder if they all do have the same voice actor.
Yeah, probably.
So now that you've fooled them all, they never come back.
Alexander did it. He's fooled the guards.
Now they will never guard anything ever again.
He's fooled the worst guards in the universe.
I want you to draw Alexander kicking 5 gnomes in the crotch.
I'm not doing that. But
That's a shame.
kick gnomes.
Alright, so let's go check out the Isle of Wonder.
I'll let Mega Bib draw the gnome
There
kicking.
you go. Here's a
A large tree stretches
like
knotted
a dog.
limbs
it's a
out
dog
over the
face
swamp.
tree.
Part of the
Barking
tree's
up the
trunk is
wrong
shaped
tree.
like the
Oh, I
face
said
of
it
a
before.
dog. Why, it must be a dogwood tree.
Of course, because dogwood is a thing. Is dogwood a thing?
I think so.
It'd be a terrible pun otherwise. I did just save it. So everything in this game is a pun. Over here is a stick in the mud. That's a bump on a log. Here's
A
some
hole in the middle.
Milkweed.
milkweed. Let's get some milkweed.
Alexander takes a bottle of milk from the milkweed bush.
Ah! Well,
Apparently, the dogwood tree doesn't like Alexander standing that close.
apparently the dogwood tree is a possessive little jerk. Anyway.
Are you not
Ooh,
talking to those things? Oh.
Yeah.
Man, this really is Wonderland.
Well, it's the land of puns. Over here we've got babies.
Unless Alexander is
Wonderland?
mistaken, those plants must
Oh,
be
heavens
baby's
no.
tears.
Baby's tears. Get it? Here's some happy tomatoes.
Vines of sweet ripening tomatoes.
Oh, they're
climb up
sweet
little wooden
tomatoes.
posts.
I get it. There, here we've got
Is that lettuce growing in the garden? It looks a little chilled.
iceberg
Why,
lettuce.
it must be iceberg
Yeah,
lettuce.
thank you, narrator. Over here we've
Just
got
because you beat him.
flowers on the wall. What
The
could they be?
wallflowers look terribly shy.
Wallflowers. And then we've got little things that snap at you and look like dragons. What could they be?
I bet you they're peppers.
A colorful array of snapdragons stand guard to one side of the
And then over here we have the most wondrous thing of all, a chair!
an elegant
Wait, what's
padded
that thing
chair
hanging on the
provides a
wall? That
cushy
little thing.
This thing?
Yeah.
There appears to be a hole in the garden wall.
It's a hole in the wall.
It looks like a little cartoon.
Yeah, that's what he looks like close up.
Through the hole in the wall,
Ah.
Alexander sees a land that
a
resembles
hole in
a
the
giant
wall.
chessboard.
There's chess behind it because Alice
it
in
really
Wonderland.
is a hole in the wall.
Of course. Ah! Yay, the
Zounds,
snapdragons
those
applaud.
wallflowers sure are shy, and the snapdragons are awfully protective of them. Alexander can't even get close to the wallflowers without causing quite a stir.
Is that a bird bath?
Where?
Right there.
That's a table.
To the right of the path is a little coffee table.
Because that makes sense. So if we try to get the hole in the wall...
Alexander decides to pick up the...
Yeah. It eeks. Whoa!
Alexander startled the poor thing.
Oh,
It's run off to hide behind the wallflowers.
Oh, I missed. Alright, so let's talk to the tomatoes, which is kind of fun to do.
Good day, tomato vines.
If you like to
Good
talk
morning.
to tomatoes.
If you like to see them smile.
Good day, tomato vines.
Good morning.
But here's the best tomato, is this guy.
How did you manage to fall off the vine, Mr. Tomato?
What do you think? I'm old. I'm rotten. Yeah, leave me alone.
If you say so.
After all, you're just gonna let me sit here and rot on this dry ground like everybody else, aren't you?
Well,
You're a bad
I don't
tomato
know.
filled with
I
moldy purple
suppose-
spots, Mr. Grinch.
Ah, never mind. Just go away. Ah.
He actually did it. It's Edward G. Tomato.
Hey, what do you think you're doing there? Get your hands off me.
Don't,
Hey!
don't stuff me down your pants. No, what are you doing?
Alexander picks up rotten
Cram it,
tomato,
tomato.
and puts him away. One never knows when one will need a rotten tomato.
Like right now.
That was the rotten tomato going inside his pants. Look, the game is doing it.
You're making the sound effects, though.
Alright, let's go to chessboard land. Look, they are knights. But they didn't move in an L shape.
Checkmate. Only chess pieces allowed in chessboard land?
That sounds stupid.
That's right. Humans aren't allowed in and never will be. Stay out!
This is chat saying, so is the tomato going to be yammering at you from inside your pants all game long?
Yammer. Because it's a tomato.
It's, that's true. Here come the queens of chessboard land.
I must insist,
To,
Your Highness.
spout exposition.
I shall send a lump of coal to the Vizier and the Princess as a present for their wedding, and that's the end of it.
Thanks,
And I
Chess
suppose
Potato.
you'll leave me with only this stupid spoiled egg to send, Your Highness. I want to impress the new king and queen of the realm as much as you do. As queen of this island, I have every right to that lump of coal.
You don't get nothing, see?
Who isn't queen of this isle?
Well,
The
that
lump of
horse
coal
is over
in
there.
my possession.
He's not the queen of
Therefore,
the isle.
I shall do as I please.
got a
with
crown.
it.
I think there's a lot of
Besides,
people who aren't
there's
queen
nothing
of this
wrong
isle.
with that spoiled
No,
egg.
everyone's queen.
Oh.
The egg, though delightfully
Everyone's Freddie
spoiled,
Mercury.
is not
What?
nearly so valuable as the lump of coal, and you know
Look
it.
at these fat-bottomed
Your
girls. They make the
Highness
rockin'
always
world
got to
go
carry the
round.
singing stone.
Literally,
It's
their
not
entire
fair to
bottoms
get the
are
coal, too.
actual just...
That
bases.
doesn't count. The singing stone was stolen by that horrid beast. I shall
The
get to
singing
keep the
stone
just
was stolen
because
by the
my
beast.
stone was
Keep that in
stolen.
mind because it's a plot
It
point.
wasn't your stone. It belonged to the Isle of Wonder treasury. Your Highness always thinks that everything is hers.
Boing.
Excuse me, my good man, but could you settle an argument for us?
No.
Which of us should get to
Chat
carry
says
the
they're
coal
all
and
about
which
that
the
base.
egg? Remember, white is the color of deserving truth and virtue.
Yeah, whatever.
Quiet, Your Highness, and let him make up his own mind. I, for one, shall be more proper, and not even mention the fact that red is the color of love.
Red, the color of angry
I'm
queens.
sorry, Your Majesty.
White,
I'm partial to both red
The
and white.
color
but I'm
of
afraid that I don't know how to
stupid.
solve your problem.
Queen.
One of you will just have to be gracious.
That's right, folks.
And allow
These
the
are the
other
songs
lump
we
of
come
coal.
up with.
My name is
Gavroche.
Ridiculously
and
stupid.
red is my color.
Everything horrible we come up with goes back to Les Mis.
He was a lot of help, wasn't he?
Anyway, Alexander couldn't decide
Yes,
because he's a
obviously a man of
weak-willed
high
pansy.
intelligence.
No,
Also,
the weak-willed pansies were on the other page.
also probably didn't want to beat up get beaten up by
The
queens.
lump of coal goes much better with my gown anyway.
But it's okay
Black and
because
red are
the Red
inferior
Queen left a
colours.
nice trail of blood.
That's the silliest thing I ever
Well,
heard.
what do you
Red
think?
does not go with
I said
anything,
no
being
comment.
Much too self-conscious. White
It's just
is
ketchup,
the
son.
perfect accompaniment to any color.
Red, the color of a lump of coal.
What?
That's what she was. So one of the queens has a lump of coal, and the other queen has a rotten egg. They want to give to the royal couple for their wedding. Was the gist of that conversation.
Okay.
But they both want to give the lump of coal because a rotten egg is a terrible gift, and a lump of coal is clearly much better. And so Alexander was like, "I don't care who does it. This is just stupid." They're like, "You're an idiot," and left. That's the gist of that conversation. Now you don't have to hear it.
You're dumb, and you're dumb for
Alexander
thinking those
picks up
things.
The Red Queen's scarf.
Oh, it's a scarf. Well, that was a thing. Well, that's literally all we can do with those guys.
Thank goodness. I think you mean gals.
Okay, that's true.